Okay. We were talking about what they eat.
Yes, and I said they don't eat pigs. Obviously, a pig would be too large.
So
for
why
a little
are they called
frog.
pig frogs?
It's because of the sound they make. Now, number one, only the males vocalize, grunt, croak, whatever, and that's a way of them attracting females.
Look at that webbed foot.
We're pretty sure that
Long
this is a
fingers.
male because we have heard him vocalize. And the reason he's called pig frog is that people believe he sounds like a pig.
Well, can you give us an example?
I can try.
Oh my
I know
goodness.
that doesn't sound a lot
Oh
like
my
a pig,
goodness.
but that's the best I
She
can
ate too
do.
much pizza.
And you
No.
just mentioned his webbed feet. And yes, by all means, frogs are going to have webbed feet because they are primarily in water. And that's how they swim, and it's also what helps them stay up. They've got more surface area on the water with
Right,
webbed
right.
feet. And his back legs are really what propel him. Frogs have extremely strong back legs.
I know, but
and
I
kind
can't. I wish I
of
could
flimsy
see
little
them.
front legs. His front legs really just support him when he uses the back legs to kick off.
So what's all that foam around his face?
That's just him, blowing bubbles. Because these are amphibians, which means they do breathe air. He has never been underwater except for when he was an egg and a tadpole. So egg to tadpole, the tadpole grows some legs, front and back, loses its tail, and the next thing you know, it's a frog. And that's when they're able to come out of the water. Interestingly enough, their gills turn into lungs. And now he breathes air, and he cannot go back down and stay in the water. He's got to come up for air. Those bubbles are just residual from him breathing in that water.
Oh, well, okay. So now I read someplace that the eggs of the pig frog are usually unharmed, but that's not true when they're frogs. They're very popular for eating.
Oh, yes, they are. A pig frog can lay 10,000 eggs at a time.
10,000?
That's a lot of eggs.
That's a lot of eggs.
However, the frogs are vulnerable to almost any other carnivore. That would include alligators.
Yeah.
That would include the great blue heron and other large wading birds that use their long bills, sharp bills, poke, you're gone.
Well,
and then if they can get them, possums, raccoons, they'll all eat frogs.
And I heard, what I read on my research is that they eat each other.
Yes, they do.
Yuck. Oh.
That's the ultimate carnivore, the one that will eat anything. However, it's not all that uncommon in wild animals. Alligators will eat other alligators.
Right.
Lions will eat other lions, and lions will eat other lions' cubs, and it's not unheard of in the animal world.
That's not very friendly.
No, it certainly isn't, but I think it's part of population control, and it's also a way for animals to survive.
Well, certainly any kind of protein in a carnivore is survivable food. And where do they live? Except, other than, just in the water, like what range?
You will find pig frogs in any warm climate here. Primarily, like a South Florida climate is absolutely ideal. They're going to always be in a marshy area around a pond or a lake.
And usually still. So what I read is that they populate from like South Carolina.
And that would be typical.
To South Florida and then west to Texas.
I didn't know that it was to Texas, but if you say so and you read it online, I will believe it.
Well, I don't believe everything I read online, but I
was really kidding.
No, it sounded plausible. It sounded reasonable.
It just has to be a warm climate. And of course, it can't be a climate that freezes because they need to be in water. So you're not going to find frogs.
These don't burrow underneath and make mud holes.
No.
Okay. And let me see. How long do they live for, an individual?
We don't know exactly because we haven't done a lot of pig frog studies, and we have had a couple of other pig frogs that have died, but we didn't know how old they were when we got them. So we don't really know. But in general, amphibians in the wild do not live that long. So it's probably a few years at best. Now, this animal in captivity, who's being fed crickets every day, who has no predators, who has his heat lamp, who has his little cave, who has his constantly filtering water tank, he's going to have the best life in the world.
Would he eat the aquatic plants if you put real ones in there? No, so he didn't.
He's strictly a carnivore. If he ate, grasshoppers and dragonflies and he ate plants, he would be an omnivore, like we are for the most part.
Right.
But he's not. He is a carnivore. He will try to catch dragonflies, butterflies.
Crustaceans.
When he looks down, if he can find a little crayfish or a little minnow, he can't eat anything really big, obviously, although a big fish would eat him.
Do they have teeth?
No, frogs do not have teeth.
So how do they get the food down? Pressure,
and then it just goes down whole.
Wow, so that little head of theirs.
He's got a good-sized tongue.
Yeah.
So with that good-sized tongue, he's got a reach, and it's also a sticky tongue.
Yeah.
So he's going to be able to grab something living and put it down his throat, and then he does, and there goes the food.
So there goes the gulp.
Yep.
That's what makes you look like a pig when you eat.
Well, I find the most interesting characteristic about this pig frog is the huge, huge eyes. They're like globes on top of his head.
But they're not moving.
And he can do it. He can roll his eyes so that he can see around, himself for predators or for prey.
Oh, that's adorable. That's adorable. I mean, but if you kiss one of these, will they turn into your prince?
A prince? I don't know. I haven't tried it, but I would also recommend nobody who finds or catches a pig frog to kiss it, because pig frogs and all other frogs are covered with a film to protect them from dryness when they get out of the water. But that film also, it's not toxic, you wouldn't die, but it is very, very bad tasting. That's why some other animals will taste the frog and go, oh, not today. I think I'll go get some other lunch, because that taste is absolutely awful. So he's covered with a film, and we don't touch him, because us touching his body can damage that film that protects him.
Yeah.
So he is definitely off limits. We feed him. Now, of course, if he got sick, we'd scoop him up in a bucket and get him to the vet. But as long as he's healthy and he's happy in there.
There are vets for frogs?
Well, our vet will see anybody. We have a very good vet.
Will your vet see the crickets that he eats?
The vet doesn't see the crickets. The crickets don't last that long. Trust me.
Well, okay, so I won't be crying over.
We don't need to worry about the crickets dying on us, because we're feeding them to our alligator and our frog.
I'm not worried about the crickets.
Everybody else.
But I also know that because frogs are so sensitive with that moist skin, they're the habitat indicators, and if you see a die-off of frogs,
absolutely,
you know that there's some toxins in your habitat, and you better find out why and clear it up, because the frogs are really our friends in letting us know the state of health in our human habitat that they also live in.
That's absolutely right. They call them hydrology barometers. Hydrology meaning water, of course.
Right.
They are hydrology barometers, and they give us signs. If the frogs are sick and dying off, then it means we've got a problem in the water.
Well, thank you so much today, Miss Linden. It was a real pleasure working with you and talking with you and learning. There's a lot of things that I learned, even though I did my research. So this is Mrs. Givon saying thanks, and I'll be writing up some more programs about this pig frog, presenting it to my third graders or other graders, whoever wants to read about it and learn about it. Bye-bye.